All right, welcome everyone. Welcome. Number one, I know during the daily briefing we're here to talk about the bigger idea, the bigger picture idea, but keep an eye on Bloom, BE. We were all over this morning in the Steady Trade team webinar. It's this has been number one. This has been, if you've been on the morning Instagram lives, if you've been on YouTube, if you've read the watch list, I don't want to say love, but I really like this stock. Check out their technology. Very interesting green technology, and it ties in. We talked about Tesla Battery Day coming up, and now I'm not saying these guys are tied to Tesla, but check out their technology. They have like this battery cell. It almost reminds. I'm an old school IT guy. If you know my history, I used to own an internet technology company. It just reminds me of like batteries. They're like server batteries. Like you rack them in. And anyway, cool technology. Keep an eye on this thing in the afternoon. If this breaks high today, again, if you're on these webinars, what's my favorite afternoon pattern? It's 52-week highs. They had some news. This is exactly what you should look for going into the afternoon. All right, that being said, just an FYI, I know I was not here this morning. I'll move on. I won't spend too much time on it. But I just had an appointment this morning. I actually, if you follow me on social media, by the way, there's only one account, TBOHEN, everywhere. Okay, especially on Instagram, I got all these impersonators. But anyway, I'm working on this makerspace, which if you're familiar with what a makerspace is, it's actually going to be I've got so many tools. I've got woodworking tools, I got welders, I got metalworking tools. I have tools to work on tools with. And I actually came upon this interesting deal on a piece of commercial property, and I'm going to turn it into a makerspace where I can lease that space out to people that want to use those tools, and I'm going to do like teaching. I'm going to do like woodworking classes, metalworking class for youth. So anyway, cool idea. Enough about me. But anyway, this morning, I had to go to the building department to get permits, is what I had to do to make this happen. So anyway, I apologize for missing this morning. It's just sometimes you gotta take care of business, baby. So anyway, I'll be back tomorrow morning, 8:30 Eastern. I'll be here. So number one, right off the bat, S&P is pulling back right now. Goldman Sachs is pulling back right now. But I still agree with this article from this morning. The vaccine news keeps getting better. Cases going up. Okay, I'm not disputing the fact that cases are going up. But deaths are still trending down for now. Okay, and I know that this is a political. Unfortunately, I understand that the pandemic is, unfortunately taken on a massive political spin. It's the world we live in. I don't know why people are playing politics over a freaking pandemic. I think people should be worried about the cure in the pandemic versus arguing on social media. That being said, here's a tip. Here's a life tip for you. Don't argue on social media. Don't post about politics on social media. And I know this is not trading related. I promise you, I'm looking at you in the camera, you will never, ever change anyone's opinion on social media. Okay? I don't care what article you post. I don't care what study you post. I don't care if you link to 75 million peer-reviewed, scientific, rigorously researched articles. You will never change anyone's mind on social media. And all it will do is waste your time and frustrate you, okay? So, that being said, I'm not talking politics here. Yes, cases are going up. Deaths are trending down for the time being. I'm encouraged by that. I am encouraged by that. Moderna had some solid news this morning. I think we're close. And I say it all the time. Until we beat this, which I think we will, I said this 4 months ago. I said the dumbest thing coronavirus ever did was come to America. And somebody like Moderna or Guild or one of them, they're going to lick it. Now, I don't know if it's tomorrow or next week or next year, but American ingenuity will defeat it. Mark my words. I don't know the timeline, but we'll beat it. So, and also nice to see Goldman Sachs crushing it this morning. Talked about this week. You know, there's all I brought up that article on for Barron's on earnings, and they're predicting this terrible earnings season. And I'm trying not to repeat myself too much because I'm just hoping you guys are here every day. But my point was, if you're in the right sector, if you're in hot sectors, you're going to blow out earnings. Yes, if you're JCPenney, you're going to get crushed on earnings. But think about it. Have you seen the trading volume? I mean, we have stocks that every single day trade hundreds of we have multiple stocks that trade hundreds of millions of shares a day, every day. Doesn't it make sense that an investment bank with a trading floor would crush it? So I'm telling you, this is one of the biggest takeaways I have for you. Doesn't mean it's a guaranteed trade, doesn't mean it's going to work. But I have never seen a more logical market than 2020. And when I say logical, the logic applies to JCPenney as well. I mean, again, if you like your Dockers, respect. But who's going to JCPenney and buying Dockers? That's logical. Short JCPenney. Who's going to spike up? Who's going to blow out earnings? The Goldman Sachses, the investment banks. So that's the biggest thing I want you to focus on is the right earnings winners, okay? We're seeing more of news that I talked about as well. I'm excited. I'm excited about this continued decoupling from particularly offshore manufacturing. Remember, this is an opinion piece, okay? Part of the daily briefing is this is all my opinion. But I think it will go down in legendary business mistakes, okay? Are you familiar with the Jim Collins books? Okay? Highly recommend all of the Jim Collins books, especially if you're an entrepreneur, if you're starting a business, if you have a business. You know, the classic book by is Good to Great is the classic by Jim Collins. But he also wrote, and then Built to Last was a great one. But then he also talked about How the Mighty Fall. And I think that offshore manufacturing, I mean, I think Jim Collins is getting up there in age. He's 60. Yeah, he's got plenty of life ahead of him. I think Jim Collins will be writing books about the boondoggle of offshore manufacturing. I think in history will tell the tale. I think when the chips fall and the research is done, we decouple, manufacturing comes back mainland. I think they'll look back at the 80s, the 90s, and they would be like, this was net negative. Now, again, opinion piece here. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think Jim Collins will write a book about offshore manufacturing being the dumbest, worst business decision in history, like ever. I think it will be a net negative when they do the numbers. And I think that we're on the cusp of just, again, I think that we're coming back. We're going to whip the coronavirus. Manufacturing is going to come back. Innovation is here. We're going to crush it. So anyway, short China is my summary. Speaking of shorts and longs, I am, I've talked about these automotive plays lately. IBD, Investors Business Daily, says that the new Ford Bronco is a full frontal assault on one brand. And I highly agree with this. You want a pair trade, okay? So, I think you guys know what a pair trade is. But, it's like a long and a short, and the idea is that they both would work. I think one of the biggest long-term I love what Ford's doing. Love what Ford's doing. I talked about it. They're reducing their exposure to China. I think they're making the right decision. They've got an innovative new vehicle. They're making a lot of right decisions. You know who isn't? Fiat Chrysler. And you know who's going after the full frontal assault on one brand? Who's Ford going after with this Bronco? They're going after Jeep. And I think that Fiat Chrysler is in for a rough time until they turn something down. And Ford's going to punish them. So if you want that pair trade, long Ford, short Chrysler. Speaking of earnings winners and logical plays, Virtu Financial. This is another one. Again, what I'm talking more about here, remember 830 is more the momentum day trades, the junk low floaters. These are a little bit longer term ideas. Hey, Jim Nigerian has a IBD podcast. I did not know that. Huh. Big fan of John. I'm sorry, John. Big fan of John. Great guy. Met him a couple times. I'll have to check that out. Speaking of podcasts, be sure to go to the Steady Trade podcast. We had a new one posted yesterday. Anyway, Virtu. These guys, much like Goldman Sachs, they're making money off of trading, and it's a great looking chart. Let me bring up, really one of those charts. And of course, there goes Bloom. Anybody playing that VWAP hold high at daybreak? Anyway, VIRT, let me bring you up a yearly chart. I mean, this is just coiled to break out. So, and I think, again, that Goldman Sachs trading-related revenue is going to help out Virtu. This thing, it hit 52-week highs today, pulled back a little bit. How does it look intraday? Ideally, we get a VWAP bounce here and maybe a perk into the close. So, I got too much to go over today. Beautiful. You guys know I'm a crazy Tesla bull. Love Elon. Texas County, they just approved $1 billion or big tax breaks for $1 billion plant. I'll move on. Again, you guys are probably sick of my bullish Tesla articles, but they're there every day. I feel like I kind of got to go over them. Last thing I want to talk about. FindSomethingNew.org. And I'm going to close the loop on this daily briefing. I started talking about that makerspace that I'm working on as a charity project. Hope to work with my buddy Tim Sykes. Whoops, I think I wasn't supposed to announce that yet. But anyway, I'm excited to work on that charity project, that makerspace. And if I've got it. Many of you might know. I've got an 18-year-old son that is choosing not to go the college route, which the kid's incredible work ethic. Great guy, outdoorsman, and I respect him for that choice. I think many people I went the college route. I went to college for 6 years and never graduated. Anyway, check out findsomethingnew.com. I really love stuff like this because it's directing young people towards what I call real jobs. I mean, welding, electrical, plumbing, trades, wind turbine technology, line installer and repair. My son actually might go to lineman school. I'm actually encouraging him to take that route. So anyway, I wanted to bring you that link, findsomethingnew.org. If you know a young person out there that doesn't want to pursue a $100,000 liberal arts degree and then get out of college with $100,000 in debt and live in their parents' basement for 20 years while they work at Starbucks, check out findsomethingnew.org. All right, everyone, have a great day. I didn't even get to everything I got. I had a JP Morgan article. I had a couple more. Another China, Hong Kong related play. But anyway, quick hitters. I got a podcast in 15 minutes. Have a great day. Really enjoy this stuff. Hopefully you guys enjoy it too. This is only day 3 of the daily briefing, but I love it. I love doing this stuff. Love talking finance. Love talking books. Love talking business. So have a great day. How's Bloom doing? Let me guess. 19? Ooh, not yet. Give it time. All right, have a great afternoon. I'll be back at 8:30 in the morning everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, and even Twitch. And we'll see you in the morning. Let's talk some tickers.